What's going on, guys? Fearmaky here, bringing you another video. Let's get into it. Let's go deep and keep grinding out there, guys. Let's dive into the video. Let's go. All right. Let's get into it. So I'm about to do a Wormhole 111. Well, I guess for the 112 clear. So what you see me do here is put on Rugal's Sash of Undertaking. The main reason for that is to get the meat shield buff. Once you get attacked, that procs 12% chance when struck to proc a meat shield, which gives us, in my case, a 39% physical damage reduction. Obviously that damage can be further increased with the higher level meat shield that you get. There's some tech that you can also get that buff without having the belt. You can have it on an offhand weapon, depending on the class you're playing. I found it on a wand, I believe, and I gave it to Tiki. And he was playing a Plague Doctor, or the White Mage, I'm sorry, so he was able to swap to that weapon, get the meat shield buff, and just, go back to his main slot weapon and just keep DPSing with no issues. In my case, because Vikings can't use a wand, I have to get the buff there. But what you're seeing here is Wormhole 111. What I'm going to do is go over all the items I'm using for the build and the talents. At the very end of the video, I will highlight every single item, highlight every single talent, highlight every single charm, go over the mercenary build as well and the gear he has. But while you're watching the background play here of this clear, which at the time when I did this was for rank 1 as well, Viking. Obviously, by the time you guys see this video, I'm no longer rank 1. And I could have gotten this much earlier in the season, but playing and farming, grinding with the guys, and I knew the moment I did wormholes I was probably gonna lose interest. But anyways, I wanted to release this build. Any Viking players out there, or any physical class player in general that puts this together and these items together in their class, for the most part is going to be dealing over 500 million damage. And what's really important this season is survivability. So my stats that you'll see at the end is 95% crit, which is crit chance cap, 783% crit damage, 100% deadly blow, and 75% ignore target defense, which is cap. But the biggest thing is resistance is finally working the game from when I stopped playing it. So 75% is a resistance cap. You should definitely aim for that across the board. And the biggest one, I think people sleeping on it when fighting, Uber Damien, Sun Li, Uber Gabriel, Rakul, things of that nature. People sleeping on the physical damage reduction and magic damage reduction. My character is running with cap, physical and damage reduction. As the Viking attacks and procs and with the glyphs, I go well above the cap and I'm extremely safe. This came from, obviously I was testing and trial and error, getting one shot by Sun Li's stomp mechanic. You can eat up to 3 stomps and not die as long as you let the debuff wear off. Obviously you want to aim to jump. We'll get into all that on a different video, but you definitely want to get resistance cap, get physical damage reduction and magic reduction cap, and for the Viking you want to get crit chance cap, as much critical damage as possible. That will give you the biggest damage, deadly blow cap, and ignore target defense cap. And once you're capped in the game, the stats will highlight in yellow, letting you know that you've reached the maximum amount. But for the build, we're using Lucy's Day, we're using Legionnaire, Runeward Helm, the Glyphin's Claw neck, the Executioner's Cocoon chest, the Glow Stick S-Talk for the offhand, and Ollie's boxing gloves, the Elven Grace ring, and you'll see I have an amazing epic belt that you'll see with trifecta stats. I mean, the belt's worth over 20 million, but you can easily farm and get these belts just by creating a good loot filter and just target for the stats that you want. And once you see the highlighted loot drop, just mouse over it and check out the stats, and chances are it's going to be something really good for you. But you can get it as a drop. You can buy cheap ones on the auction house, but your best bet honestly is to farm for it and hope that it drops. And we can get into loot filter builds and all that later if there isn't already some online. But yeah, you can see me here highlighting the loot that I'm using, the gear that I'm using. And there's the glow stick. You can pause the video if you want to look at the stats of the Ali's gloves. Here's the ring. And here's the insane belt I was telling you guys about. Look at that thing, it's crazy. That was a gift from Togs. And I actually got real lucky and got the Azale's despair ring to drop for me. Yeah, and the boots. But anyways, as I'm highlighting over the loot, the one thing I don't think I touched base on, actually there it is. These are the relics I'm using. I did not get to max them all out, just didn't grind hard enough. But what you want to aim for this class is maximum crit chance, maximum crit damage, especially for all your charms. You want to max out your resistance, max out your physical and magic reduction, the overall reduction. And you can easily do that with runes. You can do that with your mercenary. You can do that, like I said, with the Rugal's belt. Yeah, or if you're a different class that can that can equip different weapons, search right on the auction house. Any weapon that has meat shield that rolled with it, an epic weapon that have rolled with it, and you can swap to that weapon temporarily, get the buff, and then go right back onto your main weapon. But that is pretty much it, fellas. I'll let the rest of the video play out for you. But like I said, with this build I was able to do 112 from 0 to 112. Took me a day and a half. Never died once to any bosses. I died 3 times to trash. That's just not for being focused and just talking to the guys on Discord, not paying attention, and just trash killed me. But never died to any boss, never had any issues. So as long as you build your Viking with the same loadout here and same items, you'll be fine. Now if you are on a starter build for damage, you can use pretty much any two-hander and a one-hander until you get Lucy's Day and the glow stick. You can do any two-hander and a one-hander and it'll actually yield a lot more damage than trying to go for two-handers early on. I've used a two-hander and a one-hander probably from like level I want to say probably like level 90 all the way up until like Paragon 30, so you guys can easily do that as well. And definitely, Glyph of the Drunkard is an amazing glyph for survivability and buffs as well. So if you're having a hard time surviving, strive for that. I know I usually go for the meta top damage builds, but this season I found out that it's best to just never die, survive, guaranteed to kill, especially on Uber bosses, and you have a much better experience because resistances and damage reduction is literally working in the game now. So big shout out to Elias and the devs for doing a good job with resistance and damage reduction. It's actually a real thing. All right, but I'll let the rest of the video play out with the stats and the talents. You guys can see it, but it's been a good season. I love all the changes they've done to the game. I do wish that they would add more to the game than just the level 100 wormholes and call it a day. There should be additional game features and game features to give us an incentive to keep playing. But the grind from level 0 to 100 and farming out your min-max items and all of that is extremely fun. Even doing the first 100 wormholes is extremely fun. I do like the fact that they do stop it at 100 now, so you don't have to keep grinding it infinitely for no reason. But the changes are definitely a plus. The map changes are a definite plus. Damage reduction, definite plus. I enjoyed that a lot. The ability to power level your friends and skip from Hell 1, Hell 3 to Hell 5 with the way they did it, extremely good. The hero level, how they've redone the whole board, literally, let's not kid ourselves, copy and paste of D4. But hey, definitely copy greatness. Not saying that D4 is a great game. I mean, I don't like the game at all. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. But they've done a good job with it. I like how they, took that idea and put it in their game and made it work. It's good. it's another avenue and in-game feature that you can grind and farm out. But yeah, it's definitely a good season, and you know, definitely better playing with friends. But we'll see on the next one. Let me know what other videos you guys would like. I do have some other videos queued up. I'm not sure if I'll release them or not, as far as, you know, damage reduction and killing Uber Damien, Sung Lee, etc. So you guys can see the survivability and tactics. But we'll see how that's received. You guys take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, peace.